it's supposed to give you a lot of lightness, but if I do it here on the actual bow grip, it's gonna be a lot harder.
I keep feeling like it's gonna like slip.
Be able to wiggle around very lightly. They are invented for a reason, chin rest and shoulder, because it's not comfortable.
It's also more scary because I feel like at any moment around it's just gonna drop.
Yeah, that's good. Good one. And then how about Kathleen in the middle?
Well, since we're talking about like kings and stuff, right? It's like something like fancy, I guess.
It has almost the same sound and it has a lot of ornaments.
So the left hand.
How would you design your Baroque instrument? This is my little drawing of what I think. I'll put on my
It's pretty.
Oh, thank you. What is that, a fish?
Two fishes? Two fish?
And a cat? Oh, is that a cat at the
Ah.
But then, isn't cat gonna eat the fish? Little test, okay? Not test, but experiment. Just take out the drawing set right now. We're gonna draw a second song. It was like light, right? So I kind of draw some river because it's fast and light. Oh my. And then it's casual. There's like my little soldier there having a good time walking.
Man.
Very bright.
It's bright.
Very
yes.
bright and happy. Oh, I love it. Perfect, actually. It's like March of the Ducks. Can you tell me the difference between the building on the left and the building on the right?
The building on the right is sort of only in one color.
Oh, exactly.
It's very plain, right? Jenny, actually, what can you tell me about the shapes, about the building on the right?
A triangle.
Just a simple triangle, right? And then like a rectangle. So what do you notice the difference between the sounds of the two pianos, like between the first one and the second one?
The second one is more mellow.
Good word.
Good.
Mellow.
I love that word. Yes,
really
it's
good
mellow.
word. Yeah.
But then imagine if you're the first time audience and then you're just there ready to fall asleep again. And then he woke you up with like, I don't know, 50 instruments on the stage. I'm sure that's quite shocking.
2 violins, 1 viola, and 1 cello.
Yeah,
Exactly,
that
right.
works.
So that's become a standard format and then it's been popular ever since that. If you remember the Baroque, that was about 15 people. This is probably about 50 right now. So there's a growing in size of symphony. And then also we have some new instruments like the oboes, the clarinet, and then of course we put a lot more string instruments.
And Mozart, obviously, you guys probably heard that he was considered a music prodigy. Mozart actually wrote this because he knew his mother-in-law sang very well. Her range goes all the way up until here. So basically she is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes above a normal soprano can be sing.
The word romantic right now mostly used as love. By this time, people got tired of logic. They're like, what about my feelings? So this is like the time where people are very expressive about their emotions. During the Romantic period, there were a lot of revolutions going on, especially the biggest one is the French Revolution with the rise of Napoleon.
We consider him the start of the Romantic period. He's almost like a transitional composer. His next thing that he wrote is called the Eroica Symphony. Napoleon was a French guy. Basically, he was against the French monarchy and he wanted to push for democracy. So then Beethoven was like, oh, this guy is so good. He's such a great hero. So he decided to write a piece in honor of him. And originally the piece was actually called Bonaparte. But eventually, when Napoleon finished defeating the king, Napoleon said, never mind, I want to be emperor instead. Beethoven was so angry, he actually crossed out Napoleon's name completely. Do you kind of see that rip that I'm just highlighting over here? He changed the name of the symphony to Eroica. which literally means hero. So in memory of the hero that Napoleon used to be.
Brahms is known for being super meticulous about his work. He will spend 20 years writing just one symphony. So instead of having 9 symphonies, he only has 4. He didn't write anything for opera or anything. He believed music itself is a great enough art. There is a term in Romantic period that starts to come up. It's called virtuoso. People who are extremely good at their instrument.
People spread rumors that he sold his soul to the devil.
It was believed his hand was so huge that he think violin is too small. So he designed himself a bigger violin with 5 strings.
Now the piano equivalent is Franz Liszt. In inspiration to Paganini, he actually created the same music on the piano version, which is equally as difficult and technically challenging. Why do you think pianists are afraid of this piece? Why is this so difficult?
I think like you keep like doing that.
The scale?
The scales. Different kind of scales too. You can blame him for forcing you to memorize music. Because nobody memorized music before him.
And also Schumann's wife, Clara Schumann, was an amazing pianist back then. Right, you guys know Tchaikovsky, right? The guy who wrote for ballets and stuff. Yeah, Russia was involved too. And then Russia was at war with France. And back in this time, people want their country to win. So they are patriotic, they love their country. They use whatever talent they can have to persuade people to love their country as well. So 1812 is the year when Russia actually won the war against France. And then people were celebrating. And Tchaikovsky decided to write a piece to celebrate it. In this piece, what's special is that he actually used 12 real cannons. Cannons, right?
Cannons. Yes, you heard that right.
Do you guys know who is the artist for Paintings to the Right?
Picasso?
Yeah, Picasso. After Romantic period, we usually call it a 20th century music. One of the biggest icons for 20th century is a Russian composer called Stravinsky. Unlike the ballet we saw, the Nutcracker, which is elegant dance and beautiful costume, the ballet that he composed were focused on Russian folk tales with a lot of primitive elements or dances, awkward dances, bare feet, weird makeup, what we consider beautiful, which summarize very well of what the piece we're gonna hear, which is called The Rite of Spring.
They did a lot of crazy rituals, so this story was kind of dark, it described how they would sacrifice a young maiden to make sure that the spring would be a good harvest, or that spring would be a good season for them.
So if Stravinsky played with rhythm, Schoenberg played with the tonality, which is the concept of major and minor, 12 keys. He totally broke that away.
One major thing that you should know about Schoenberg is that his 8-tonality and 12-tone composition. Which is nice, right? But they have repeated notes. You have 2 E's, same note here, and then 2 notes. But he says, I don't like that. What if I create an entire melody where I use 12 tones without repeating? And it's going to sound a little bit funky. He basically didn't repeat a sequence until again. So there's something called inversion, which means we go backwards in a weird way. So you go the interval. So if I go from C to F, it kind of goes in a sequence like this. You go 5 notes up, but maybe the next one I go 5 notes down. So it'll be G, or this direction, right? So my melody at first goes this way. But what if I want to go backwards? So maybe I'll do it this way. So they both go in opposite directions completely.
That sounded weird.
That sounded fun, actually. Yeah?
Yeah, that's
That
it.
sounds really good.
Yeah.
Jazz is basically a type of music that's really associated with a lot of strong rhythms and, of course, dancing. He created his first musical score with the very famous director Hayao Miyazaki. How do you create music that is very spiritual? You guys heard that melody before, haven't you? Yeah? Very, very famous, right? So if you think about it, what do we talk about spirited way? Spirited way is like, what is it? Spiritual, right? And dreamy. We are in the upper registers of the piano, so it's a very high, right? Because this probably doesn't sound like spiritual. It probably sounds like the end of the world, right? You don't want to play start from there. That's a little bit bad, right?
If we just give you a listen of the music, can you tell if it's Baroque, classical, romantic, or modern music? Just tell us the answer. What's that from?
Baroque?
Good job, Olivia. All right, how about next one?
Romantic.
Yeah, definitely
Yes.
romantic period, right?
Is it modern?
Modern?
Really modern. Yeah, right? And actually this is the full-on example of him using the 12th tone.
Once you know the style, everything starts to make sense. And then when you learn your music piece, whether violin or any other instrument, viola, piano, you can start to sense the style. And then you can hopefully think about those stories behind it. And then makes your playing a lot more interesting and have stories to it. Okay, that's just our hope for you in the future music playing.